Good afternoon. This is Patrick Gallagher, the event director for FETC 2015. I want to welcome you all to this webinar on the FETC Hosted Buyer Program. I want to thank you very much for joining us on this the eve of Christmas Eve, and looking forward to spending time with you this afternoon to talk about the Hosted Buyer Program, and hoping that I can give you some information about the program. We do have some companies on the line who are already participating in the program, as well as several companies who are listening in to understand what the program is all about. So let's get started. What is the Hosted Buyer Program? The Hosted Buyer Program has been used successfully at our other 1105 media and also at other industry events. It's a complement to other lead gen opportunities at FETC. It's an opportunity for our vendors to invite specific attendees to semi-private and private meetings. And this is an opportunity for our vendors who would like to participate to be able to search the attendee database for targeted attendee types and invite those attendees for a 15 to 30 minute meeting to discuss that attendee's needs. Now, more often than not, it is very much like a small focus group, meaning that you're discussing what your product is and the potential buyer is talking about what their technology needs are overall. And the incentive for the attendee is that they are offered lunch as well as a gift to attend the event, and that is a gift in the form of a gift card. So what I want to talk about just briefly about where and really the scope of what the Hosted Buyer Program is and how this all works. Let's just quickly look at where this is going to be located on the show floor, I should say in the lobby area. For all of you who have been to FETC in the past, you know that we're at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. And we use halls A and B. And then we have the lobby area as well as the third floor for our conference area. In the lobby area, where attendees will come from the buses and from the parking areas, they will come from the parking areas this way, and they will come from the buses this way to come into the event. The key buyer area is this red area here. Sorry, the Hosted Buyer area is this red area here, and that is our general Hosted Buyer area. And then the blue area is a meeting room, which we have designated for our private Hosted Buyer Program participants. And that is a meeting room that is right across the hall from our general Hosted Buyer area. Sorry about that, technical difficulties. So the Hosted Buyer Program, we have a few different packages. And what these are is that our vendors have the opportunity to contract for a certain number of meetings. And there's a guaranteed minimum number of meetings, and we try to exceed a certain number of meetings for you, but we guarantee a certain number. So our basic package in the semi-private lobby area is what we do is we set up a group of small tables in the convention center lobby. Each vendor receives a table, 2 chairs, ID sign, and access to the food. They will also have access to our Hosted Buyer Technology Program, where they can sort the attendees and target specific attendees. The pricing is, and guarantees are as such, a $4,300 booth package with more than 2 meetings. That's a guaranteed minimum of 2. It's $4,300. For a $3,000 add-on to any booth package, there's a guaranteed minimum of 4, and we look to exceed 6 meetings. And there's a $5,500 add-on to any booth package that can exceed 12 meetings with a guaranteed minimum of 8. We also then have our private shared meeting area. The private shared meeting area is that meeting room that I showed you, the blue shaded area. and that space will be shared by 4 total companies. In this room is also the food for the entire hosted buyer program. In that space, each participating company will receive tables, chairs, ID sign, as well as privacy, pipe and drape, as well as meter board signage, just to help separate those areas. Companies who are participating in the meeting room will have use of that meeting room for the specific times for the hosted buyer meetings, not before and not after. The add-on to the booth, to any booth package, $7,500, that could exceed 12 meetings with a guaranteed minimum of 8. There's also a $10,000 add-on, which would exceed 16 meetings with a guaranteed minimum of 12. And then we have a standalone package for private meeting areas. That's $25,000, and that's a guaranteed minimum of 34 meetings. So let's talk about how this all works. So as a participating company in the FETC hosted buyer program, what happens is that you will receive an email invite from us to join the FETC hosted buyer technology program. You will have access to video instructions. You will have access to an online system which will help you sort the attendees as well as send invitations to those attendees. You will also have the opportunity to review these the confirmations back from the attendees, as well as send additional invites until you reach your maximum number of potential invites. So let's review, or let's take a look at what the online system looks like. We are using the GIFL Now program, which is a system that allows you to target and invite specific attendee types. So as I noted, you will receive a link to enter this program. You will need to change your password, and you will have access to the system. And what will happen once you do, you will click on Book a Vendor Meeting. And at that point, you will have the opportunity to select target attendee demographic sorts. These sorts are by country, by position, by sector, by school and district level, desired product and service if the attendee supply this information during our registration process. Our exhibitors who are participating in the program will receive access to the online system on January 2nd. We are waiting to January 2nd to ensure that the system is correct, as well as the majority of our registrations have been accepted for conference attendees. We will be receiving registrations right up to the event. Usually about 20% of our registration happens in the last 2 to 3 weeks, but we want to try to wait until January 2nd to have the most opportunity for you to review. Let's take a look at what this actually looks like and how it works. This is the online system, and this has been dummied up so that we can take a look and use this information right now. What will happen is as an exhibitor, you will have access to this screen. You will be able to book attendee meetings. When you do that, you can select and sort, as I noted, by country, by position, by sector, by level, and desired product and service. Let's just pick superintendent. What would happen is you would select that title, or let's say MISIT. You would select that title. Now, we right now have about 15 records in the system as dummy opportunities, just so you're aware. So you will do your choices. You can also search for certain schools and districts if you would like. So you would then find and come up with a list of potential users that you can choose from. So let's pick this superintendent. So if I pick this superintendent, and now I prefer to invite this person to the event, what pops up next after I select the potential attendee is the available meetings that I have available to me based on my contract. And this shows which spots are available. Now, so we all understand is that we only have certain times that the hosted buyer meetings will take place. And they take place between 11 and 3 on Wednesday, January 21st, Thursday, January 22nd, and Friday, January 23rd, up until 2 o'clock on Friday. So what will happen is that you will click on any of these that may be available, and this will make sure that you would like to book. You hit OK, and then what will happen is that the attendee will receive an email. The email will be an invite to participate in the program. This invite will look like this. The invite will describe who the person is so they understand that this is not spam. And then it will include information about the fact that they have been invited for the FETC hosted buyer program. Attendees are told about the fact that they will receive a gift card and a lunch for exchange for agreeing to meet. And as we make very clear to them that this is a very informal, small focus group style discussion created for attendees and vendors to gain an understanding of technology needs and wants. It talks about when that actual session will take place, and also additional information. And then the attendee is asked to confirm their participation, yes or no. And then it includes additional information. So if the attendee says yes, it will show up as a booked session. And then the attendee, or excuse me, the vendor can go about trying to invite additional buyers to their event, to their host and buyer meeting. At any given time, the vendor can view which sessions have been assigned and accepted and declined. What's also great about this is that we will also be marketing the host buyer program to all attendees and asking attendees if they would like to participate. So you will be, as vendors, inviting attendees to these meetings, as well as we will be marketing this opportunity to our attendees, and attendees have the opportunity to enter the system and select from the companies participating in the program on who they want to meet as well. So there's more than likely, you will be receiving requests for invites from attendees. At that point, you could accept or decline those requests based on their demographic information and your available time. The system that we have allows you to monitor the confirmations. And we suggest from January 2nd all the way through up to the event that you should have somebody assigned for the meeting, a sales rep or multiple sales reps, so that they can monitor those meetings. The reps are required to be at the hosted buyer area 30 minutes prior to the first meeting. And that is room S210B in the Convention Center lobby level. If you're participating in this event, you'll be receiving information over the next 2 to 3 days, a little bit more in-depth information and more in-depth instruction getting you prepared for January 2nd. We suggest that you talk or plan to talk with all levels of buyers. I'd like to talk about this just really briefly because a lot of times what happens is when we're talking to our vendors and we ask them who is their target attendee that they're looking for, we always get the following answer. We're looking for district-level CIOs, we're looking for school CIOs, we're looking for superintendents. And what we always ask after that question is, okay, that's great, but who else in the decision-making chain do you want to be talking to? Which school districts, which schools are you trying to get into? Trying to find horizontal contacts that include administrative, IT, as well as educators in those schools and districts are very important to finding out information about what products are currently being used in that school and what opportunities might lie in that school or in that district. We suggest that you have materials and handouts prepared for the hosted buyer program, and again, that you're viewing the meetings as mini focus groups. As I noted before, we will be marketing to all attendees the opportunity to join in on the hosted buyer program. So attendees can join and select from participating vendors. You as vendors can accept those invites. We also expect and have at our other events had walk-ups. meaning that attendees who have registered late or have heard about this come to our hosted buyer area. The system that I showed you, the Jiffle Now system, our hosted buyer assignment system, will allow us to understand who may have open slots and what products that you may be looking for. Sorry, what buyers you may be looking for. That ends the basic rundown about the FETC hosted buyer program. We are currently working on getting the online system up and running, and again, plan to have that available to our exhibitors with the attendee information entered into the system by January 2nd. I am now going to attempt to, I'm going to actually unmute people who have some questions. So I'm going to unmute to Bill Jarrett. Bill, do you have a question?
A couple, actually. I was wondering if you would share this presentation with the attendees. And the second question is, can you give us a little insight, or is there any way to kind of see who some of the attendees are before we make a commitment to make sure that we do have the proper targeted school districts, in my view, that we could potentially invite?
We don't allow that type of Bill, that information to be made available out to vendors or anybody because of CAM-SPAM rules and because of privacy rules. Your sales representative, Stephanie Chavares, Elizabeth Hitchcock, or Tim McLucas, can make very in-depth demographic information available to you about the event and who comes to the event. And that should give you just a general scope of who's coming. We have every state in the United States come to the event. 90 right now. Well, last year we had 95 of the top 100 largest school districts coming to FETC. So we have a lot of demographic information. But I'm afraid unless you're part of this program, that information is not made available to you. And in fact, that information is made available to you in this system, but you're selecting that information. You do not get their contact information until they come to the actual hosted buyer program.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, Bill?
Yeah, it does. Like I said, I was just really trying to make sure that we had, a certain pool within those demographics, not necessarily who they are, but, we had like X number of potential. So, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and actually your sales representative should be able to supply you with historical data if you're looking for certain title sets, certain states, so forth. We can provide you with general information like that. In fact, by January 2nd, we'll have an update of where we're at right now with that information. So that will be somewhat available to you, that demographic information. Bill, are you currently an exhibitor, or are you thinking about becoming an exhibitor?
No, we are an exhibitor. Okay,
great. So more than likely you've seen some of that information already in our prospectuses and on our website of the demographic information that's made available. So again, check directly with your sales rep, and they should be able to get you that demographic information.
All right, thank you.
And then you asked about sharing this with attendees. Yes, we will be doing that over the next 3 to 4 weeks. In other words, what happens is we are going to be sharing this with you, as well as, and then you're going to be inviting people. We're also going to be letting attendees know that this is going to be happening. And then we're going to do our marketing to try to generate even more attendees who may want to reciprocate and say, hey, I want to talk to you about your product. All right. I'm going to, the next person online or with a question was Chris Buja. I'm sorry, Chris, if I murdered your name. I apologize for that. So go ahead, Chris. Do you have a question?
Has this been run in prior years?
I'm sorry?
Has this event been run in prior years?
We have run hosted buyer for our other events, Chris. We have not done it for FETC yet. but we have done it for other events that we run, and I've actually, in my career, have been running hosted buyer events for the last almost 15 years. Did you have another question, Chris?
No, just covered. It'll be new for the attendees at FETC.
Yeah, it'll be new for these attendees, but I have done many of these events, and in fact, we're very excited to use the JIFL Now program because we have been doing it, or I have been doing it manually. So this is going to make it a lot easier for our vendors to stay on top of what's going on, myself, as well as really overall management of the event. And we're here to ensure that this is very successful. We have never not had a successful event. And our goal, we guarantee a certain number, and we look to go over that number in everything that we do and the number of meetings that you have. Any other questions, Chris?
That was covered. Thanks.
Okay. The next person I had a question from was Dallas Katchen. Dallas?
Hi there. I had thrown a couple of questions in the queue. Let me just read them here. First one of which was that you're positioning these as 30-minute slots, but the email that you shared with us a moment ago said the expectations these are 15-minute meetings. Is it possible to modify these emails to properly set the 30-minute expectation?
Well, what it is that we tell you it's going to be 15, but more often than not, and as you notice from the material that I talked about, it's 15 to 30 minutes. So we tell the vendors it's 15, we tell the attendees it's 15, and then we schedule them from 30 minutes because they always go over. So the range is 15 to 30 minutes.
All right. So we should be internally also talking about these as 15-minute meetings as well, but also understanding that they can extend as much as 30 minutes. Great.
Exactly. Yep.
Is there a provision for entering a company's URL in these invite emails?
No, there isn't. What we do is we put your company name in, and then we want them to prepare and come and do this meeting at the event. Obviously, they can then go to our website. They can do that type of thing, but we do not include that information in the email.
I see. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me go right down here. There was another hand up. Stephen Doyle.
Patrick, hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I sure can.
I just wanted to clarify, are these slides being shared, or is it just basically the recorded webinar that we've attended that's being archived?
Everything will be. So it'll be available. I'm recording it right now. In fact, I'm recording your question. And as soon as this is over, we'll process it, and then we'll get it up on the website. Just with Christmas and so forth, I'd give it a couple of days. If you need it immediately, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go to the first slide, and you can email me at pgallagher@1105media, and I can get you that link probably in the next hour.
Sure. No, it can wait till the new year. I just wanted to take some of the information out of here and just put it in our pre-show training slide deck. So thank you.
Yep. Stephen, if you wanted to go ahead and give me your email address right now, I'll send you the deck.
Okay. Yeah, I'll shoot you an email right now. Thanks.
Terrific. Thank you. I'll take care of that for you. And if anybody else needs it right now, it wants the deck itself or the processed webinar, please let me know, and I will get it to you ASAP. Let's see. I think I've got everybody's questions answered. I'm going to, just in case we have some people who haven't had a chance or can't figure out how to raise their hand and so forth, which happens, I'm going to unmute everybody. And just give me a second while I do that, because the system is not, so I'm going to have to do it manually. All right. Some people did not have an audio or do not have their audio pin set. So if there's anybody who has a question who has not had a chance to ask it, please go ahead and just shout it out. Well, great. I hope that this was informative for everybody. Again, you can reach me at the phone number 617-512-6656 or my email address with any additional questions about the system. As I said, January 2nd, the system will be available for our vendors who are participating. Right now, I believe we have about 12 or 13 companies participating. We expect that number to be in the 15 to 20 range overall. It's a great way as a complement to your lead gen programs that you're doing at the event, and a great way for you to target specific buyers or potential buyers. So again, thank you very much for your time on this beginning of the holiday week, and we look forward to talking with you. Just as a note, we will be doing on-site training for our exhibitor personnel on January 20th, and our webinar number 4, which I didn't have a chance to put onto the slide deck, is scheduled for January 13th, and that's for pre-show planning for your sales team. So my suggestion is that we've already sent that out to all of you who are exhibitors. If you would like some time or like us to refresh that invite, we can do that. Just email me. And we're going to be doing on the 13th of January, we're going to be reviewing some pre-show promotion as well as pre-show planning that you should be doing, and boothmanship for your salespeople in the booth, and just some basic training techniques. So look forward to talking with you then. Have a great day, and have a great holiday season. Thank you.